Good morning and welcome to today's Shotsuki Hoyo service. My name is Ann Ong, and our officiant today is Reverend Hōkai Smitty Smith, and also in the Onaijin is Arturo Rubio, Minister's Assistant. We'll have fruit and floral offering by the Dharma School High School class. Thank you, Paulina and Juliana. We'll now have silent meditation led by Reverend Smitty Smith.
Gasho. Amida Buddha's wisdom is without bounds. Thus, even those of distracted minds and self-indulgence are grasped and never abandoned. Namo Amida Butts. Namo Amida Butts. Namanda, 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 Namanda.
We will now have the readings of the Shotsuki Hoyo names and incense offering by family and friends during that time. Thank you.
Hiroshi Nishida. Naoye Kasabuchi. Jack Schultz. Reverend Laverne Sasaki. Kengo Yamamoto. Mary Sayoko Tomiyama. Emiko Ishisaki. Ayako Otsuji. Richard Iwao Ito Sr. Tohoru Hidutsu Shimizu. Gilbert Shuji Wakisaka. Bruce Ryo Moriyama. Ben Shizuto Sekishiro. Mary Haruko Yagura. Shizuko Tsukamoto, Katie Tomoe Kraus, Tadami Maruyama, Susumu Kawato, Yoshiko Kawato, Sam Amano, Fred Nabetta, Rui Namoto, Mark Isao Kasabuchi, Misao Kawasaki, Michael S. Kawamoto, Kyoko Hazel Baker, Masahito Iwanaga, Fumie Martin, Rosie Yamada, Kyo Kawasaki, Chisato Kuroe, Shoichi Nomura, Masaru Niwata, Mieko Holt, Haruki Koba, Thomas Yonekura, Miyuki Takanashi, Hisaji Taniguchi, Hideo B. Watamura, Tsune Yamasaki, Zenpachi Kubota, Susumu Yagi, Shiro Takahashi, Kimi Tereda, Grace Hosaka, Sukeichi Yamada, Haruhiko Otsuji, Sunatorio, Masaru Yanagihara, Tetsutachiki, Hanano Matsui, Masaaki Tanizaki, Yuku Hosaka, Kiyotaro Osaki, Teru Kiyono, Roy Yamada, Buyemon Ohara, Shunzo Sakamoto, Shimeno Nabeta, Shina Nishiyue, Matsu Higuchi, Motono Oto, Husamatsu Morimoto, Akira Date, Yoshito Yamamoto, Zenkichi Iwashita, Shuji Kaneko, Hude Hirai, Tsune Hasayama, Ichinosuke Kiyono, Taiki Ikemi, Sawa Yamanishi, Dennis Suyenaga, Kura Hashimoto, Yoshigoro Mamiya, Tokumatsu Shiosaki, Shina Shindo, Mizuno Nakano, Yonekichi Tsubakihara, Sakuhichi Yano, Matsu Yamanishi, Iwakichi Okumaru, Senkichi Yanagihara, Sadao Kinoshita, Tomie Torimaru, Sugio Ishisaki. Again, you're invited to come up and offer incense for a loved one who passed away in the month of March, whether I read their name this morning or not.
We'll now have Sutra Chanting Jusege on page 35.
Gagon Chosegan Hishimu Jodo Shigan Fumanzok セフ上昇学がお無料公不意大摂取不採処便具セフ上昇学が至上分道妙所長実法空教未所門セフ上昇学利欲人少年上映主本業しぐむ浄土一生天人し人力現代公不生無才道少女三苦妙交際集約難回避知恵言滅死根も安閉塞小悪道自断然修門高僧上満足異様老実法日願修十期天候音普賢一種解放像公正苦毒法上大集中説法ししく供養一切仏具足修徳本願へ信条満徳意三害を女仏無下知自達に不詳願学エリ投資最小尊志願役果大仙王感動国書天人東珍妙慶ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがにしくどくよどせいさいどほんぼだ Yasho. Namanda, 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 namanda.
We will now have the Dharma School message given by Certified Minister's Assistant Arturo Rubio.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Thank you for joining us this beautiful Sunday morning, both here at the temple and online. Okay, so we do see the slide there. Okay, so first, raise your hand if you like zombie movies. Just a few, too gory. I hear you. George R. Romero's movie Night of the Living Dead, which came out in 1968, popularized this film genre. But first, did you know that Night of the Living Dead was not the first zombie movie produced? Actually, the first zombie movie was White Zombie, which came out in 1932 and starred Bela Lugosi. Who remembers Bela Lugosi? Kind of dates us, huh? Pretty old school. For those who don't know Bela Lugosi, he was this famous, huge actor in the 30s through the 50s, I believe. Probably best known for his portrayal of Count Dracula in the original Dracula movie. Also, did you know that the slow-moving, flesh-eating, reanimated corpses in Night of the Living Dead were not even called zombies in the movie? In the movie, they refer to the undead characters as ghouls. Prior to Romero's movie, other films, including White Zombie, typically portrayed zombies as individuals who had been turned by a voodoo witch doctor, usually by means of potions and rituals, into mindless automatons to be controlled and used as slaves. So George R. Romero was the first filmmaker to portray zombies or ghouls as flesh-eating corpses that had once been human, had been bitten by other zombies, had died, and then afterwards had become reanimated into The Walking Dead, to reference an extremely popular TV series. This film genre became so popular that it spun off other types of creative works, including zombie romantic comedy movies and novels with titles such as The Girl's Guide to Dating Zombies, My Rotten Love Life, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, Life After Death, and Zombie Honeymoon. But what does all this have to do with Buddhism? Bear with me for a few minutes. Let's start by going back to the movie Night of the Living Dead and see what kind of ideas are running in the background, beyond just the thrill of seeing people trying to survive the onslaught of wave after wave of zombies. The movie came out in 1968, right smack in the middle of America's involvement in the Vietnam War. George R. Romero described the movie as a critique of 1960s America, including the Vietnam War and the breakdown of societal norms. But intentionally or not, he also included certain elements that turned the movie into somewhat of a commentary on racism. Watching the movie is to be reminded of the 1967 race riots and the civil rights movement. The fact that the main character, played by Dwayne Jones, a black actor, dies at the hands of a white posse reminiscent of historical lynchings can't be a coincidence. So we can find somewhat hidden commentary and symbolism even in zombie movies. Now, countless zombie movies have been made since Night of the Living Dead's premiere back in 1968. The genre is so saturated that new creators must come up with novel ways to present zombie themes, hence zombie romantic stories, comedies, etc. In a zombie movie I watched recently, the filmmaker came up with a plot that I thought was pretty interesting and somewhat innovative, and which afterwards made me think about what kind of symbology could be found in it. Even ideas not foreign to Buddhism and especially Joro Shinshu. This movie was set during the early stages of a zombie apocalypse. In the movie, a young woman, Molly, is forced to cover a long distance alone and on foot through the Nevada desert. Her goal is to get to an airfield where she, along with others, can get on a plane, escape, and then go find her son. The movie spans 4 days and nights, which is what it takes her to walk to the airfield. Well, earlier I said she was alone. Technically, she wasn't alone, since the whole time she's being followed by a zombie. Every night, she has to find a high spot, like a large rock or something along those lines, where the zombie won't be able to reach her while she rests and sleeps. During the day, she walks under the hot sun at a pace just fast enough to keep the zombie at a safe distance behind her. Feeling bored, she laughs at the zombie, taunts it, yells at it. The zombie trips, she laughs and throws rocks at it. One day she's attacked by some men when the zombie is not around. Then the zombie appears as if by magic, and being a zombie, attacks the men, effectively saving Molly's life. Molly finds a rope and ties the zombie to a large rock with the intention of leaving it there so she can continue to the airfield, which is now close by. Her attitude to the zombie has changed. She talks to the zombie, trying to comfort it, telling it that everything will be okay. Molly hears the zombie grunting loudly as she's leaving. Feeling pity for the zombie, she goes back and unties it, not before asking it if it's going to be a good boy. The zombie follows but doesn't attack her from that point on. When she's a few miles from the airfield, soldiers drive by and one of them shoots the zombie in the leg. The zombie falls to the ground and is unable to get up again. Unable to carry the zombie, she's forced to go to the airfield on her own, but she's left behind by the people who were supposed to fly her to safety. Fortunately, she's able to find the keys to a car and drives away in search of her son. To me, this movie seemed interesting because it was the first time I'd seen that type of plot used in a zombie film, where most of the story arc revolves around only two characters, a normal human being and a zombie. And also, it was the first time I'd seen a character somewhat reason with a zombie. I kept thinking about the symbology to be found in this movie. I remember when our former resident minister, Kenji Akahoshi, used to talk about our shadow, that side of ourselves that doesn't exemplify the best in us. That shadow, our ego self, is what causes us to act in selfish, foolish ways. The zombie in this movie represents that shadow, that ego self that goes with us everywhere. Base, aggressive, foolish, only interested in instantly satisfying its most burning wants and desires, many times hurting others in the process. No matter what we do or how much we try, we just can't get rid of our ego. Yes, our ego may compel us to do more, to give more of ourselves, to push ourselves, just like the zombie kept Molly on her toes and committed to reaching her goal. But most of the time, our ego works against us, gets us in trouble, gets us into situations that cause us distress. Sometimes we may feel like we can control our ego, reason with it, tell it to behave. But sooner or later, that ego ends up biting us back, causing us grief. In the movie, Molly spent a good amount of time cursing the zombie, belittling it. In time, she came to accept its presence. She felt pity for it, even asking it if it had a family, and telling it they surely missed him. Before Molly leaves the zombie, she takes his wallet, sees a picture of him smiling with his girlfriend or wife, sees the picture on his driver's license, and understands that he had once been a normal human being, just wanting to be happy and loved. She felt genuine pain as she left the zombie there, laying in the middle of the road. And also, all the while during her long trip, as she walked through the desert, she herself thought about all the mistakes she had made during her life, bad decisions that she had made, and how she felt she had failed as a mother. She probably wouldn't have awakened to this realization, the understanding of her own imperfections, if she hadn't seen the world she knew crumbling all around her, and this dark shadow, this representation of her ego self, following her everywhere. In real life, there is no way for us to rid ourselves of our ego self, to say a heartfelt goodbye and leave it out in the desert in the middle of the road. It is our destiny as simple human beings to be followed by our ego self always and forever. But that's part of the human experience. It's okay. That's what Shinran Shonin taught us. Shinran wrote in Shoshinge, the light of compassion that grasps us, illumines and protects us always. The darkness of our ignorance is already broken through. Shinran is not saying that Amida's light of compassion removes our ignorance, our ego self. He's saying that in being grasped and protected by Amida's light, we come to realize that we're all ignorant beings, full of blind passions. We may be destined to carry with us the darkness of our shadow forever, but we are still accepted and embraced by Amida. In one of his letters, Renyo Shonin restates this same idea. Please join me in Gasho while I read Renyo's words. Even though we are such helpless, foolish beings, committing evil all our lives, Amida Tathagata never fails to save us if we entrust ourselves single-mindedly and unwaveringly to Amida for our emancipation in the afterlife. Gasho, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandabs, Namandabs, Namandabs. Thank you.
Thank you, Arturo Sensei. I'm the biggest scaredy cat, but I love zombie movies, and I like your interpretation. That's very interesting. Will you all please rise for the Gatha Namu Amida Butsu on page 122. Thank you. Please remain standing for the recitation of our pledge in the insert at the back of your book. Our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Gasho, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Please be seated. I'd like to thank everyone who helped with the service today. We have Reverend Hōkai Smitty Smith, our minister's assistants, Yukari Williams, Reverend Noriko Kawai, Reverend Sharon Sasaki, and Arturo Rubio. And Bill Teague is at the Vista Buddhist Temple today. I'd like to thank our tech team, Ken, Ricky, Brevin, and Office Toban. Glenn Torrio is downstairs in the office. Are there any announcements? I'll make one for Nancy Martinez. The temple will be participating in the semi-annual Interfaith Neighbor Helping Neighbor food collection drive to benefit the San Diego Food Bank. We'll be accepting donations of non-perishable food items or monetary donations through Saturday, March 21st, when there will be a drive-through drop-off. You can bring your items here on Sundays or during office hours. Thank you for your thoughtfulness. And she just wanted to bring attention to the date in the Busei script. It was incorrect. The drive-through is March 21st, not the 22nd. Thank you.
Good morning. I just want to let you know that we have a lot of Dharma school students here. And a lot of times we see them here at the temple, but they do a lot of things outside. And I just want to let you know, one of them, Kira, she's performing outside the temple at the San Diego Junior Theater. And sorry to embarrass you, Kira, but I thought we have to let our congregation know that she's still performing until the March the 15th. So you have time to still pick up tickets and see the musical that she's in. She's one of the leads. And she's performing in Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. It's a real good presentation and has a lot of interdependence and gratitude portion, which we all as Buddhists understand. So make sure and try to get your tickets. Also, too, there's two others. I think Penelope and Benjamin are also doing some performances, so check with them.
Good morning, everyone. Wanted to let you know about some upcoming events. The first is, there's a lot of events, but I wanted to let you know about on April 5th, the Vista Buddhist Temple Dharma School and Sangha will be visiting our temple for our annual exchange. Last year we visited Vista. This year Vista is coming here. And again, it's on April 5th, Sunday, and there will be a potluck luncheon after. Dharma School will provide a main dish, but everyone is invited to bring a side dish, salad, or dessert. So I hope you can all attend and welcome our Vista Temple Sangha friends. And on, April 26th, this is for the Dharma School. We're actually planning a field trip out to the Orange County Buddhist Church. There will be a magic show and related with the Dharma, and we are going to be arranging carpools for that particular Sunday. So it will be during their service, their 10 a.m. service, where this magic show will be done, as well as an activity for Dharma school students after service. So we'll be soon putting up a sign-up sheet and hope that the Dharma school families can participate. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Have a couple announcements. We seem to be collecting these water bottles. So, I mean, if you're missing a water bottle, they'll be in this box downstairs in the office. So please check it out. There's several. So if you're really missing one, I know it's been warm, so, but if you're missing a water bottle, please come down to the office to claim it. Also, on Sunday, March 22nd, the JCL is going to be having a cooking demonstration here at the temple. It's temari sushi, so they're hand ball roll sushis. And this might be interesting for the Dharma school families because these are kind of started out to be made for children, so smaller size sushis for children, and now they're used more extensively, and especially for craft items or even for eating purposes. But anyway, Keiko Juno of the JCL, she's going to be having this demonstration on the 22nd from 2 to 4 p.m. downstairs in the dining room and in the kitchen. So there's a registration for this. So if you're interested, please sign up. The space is limited to 15 people, and the fee is $40 per person. Okay, so there'll be a sign-up sheet downstairs if you're interested. Thank you.
Another request by the Dharma School. Well, not request, but anyway, we'll be having a Hanamido decoration on April 11th at 1 o'clock. And before that, we are accepting monetary donations. On that Saturday, we're going to be accepting floral donations. So if you can please either bring flowers for the Dharma School so we can make the Hanamido look pretty, or if you can give it donate some monetary, then we can go buy flowers too as well. So that. Okay, thank you.
I realized I forgot to thank Robert Yamamoto, our guitarist, today, and I want to say thank you for playing all those Neil Sedaka songs before service started. I appreciate that. All right, we will excuse the Dharma School students. They can do Oshoko and go to their classes. And then we'll continue with the adult service after that. right, we will begin the adult service with the Vandana and Tea Sarana on page 96. And you can begin at the part that says leader.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Kie Butsu. Namo Kie Ho. Namo Kie So. Gasho. Namanda, 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 namanda.
We'll now have the adult Dharma message with Reverend Smitty.
Okay, I promise you no zombies in this talk. Please join me in Gasho while I read from Amida Buddha's proclamation of the fulfillment of the 48 vows in the Sutra of the Buddha of Immeasurable Life, better known to many of us as the larger Amida Sutra. I will bring great peace to all who are in doubt or fear. Namo Amida Butts, Namo Amida Butts, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. I am a zombie fan, though, so I really appreciated Arturo's talk. Well, good morning, or at least I hope it's a good morning for you. It's difficult to tell most days now. You know, we've only completed 2 months of 2026, and today is the start of our 3rd month. And most days I seem to wake up to news of conflict and strife. So the wish of good morning is sincere, but I understand if that's not what you're feeling right now. So yesterday we woke up to the news that the U.S. and Israel had attacked Iran following weeks of escalating tensions and what we thought were maybe peace talks, but weren't, and you know, a major U.S. military buildup in the region ended with this attack. And then by evening we learned that this Operation Epic Fury had killed Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and who was not by any means a good guy. You know, he had ruled for nearly 40 years, and he did so with an iron fist. And the Ayatollah's death raised the prospect of increased chaos and a power vacuum in this already turbulent region of unrest. And the Iranian ambassador to the United Nations vowed that there would be retaliation against specifically the U.S., but we've seen it already being carried out against U.S. allies, U.S. bases, and Israel. Of course, before that, we've been for a long time having tensions that are boiling over in the Twin Cities for many weeks due to immigration crackdowns. And an Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent fatally shot Renee Good on January 7th. And then another federal agent fatally shot Alex Preddy on January 26th, both of those in Minneapolis. And both Good and Preddy were U.S. citizens. And so we find that Minnesotans are living in some degree of fear, both citizens and immigrants alike. And then at the very beginning of the year, we awoke to the news that the U.S. had launched a significant military action into Venezuela, attacking Caracas and capturing the President Nicolas Maduro. And even before that and since, there's been ongoing U.S. military attacks on alleged drug smuggling boats. It's been continuing, and there's been over 150 deaths due to those attacks alone. So, you know, now that I think about it, I probably engage in too much doom scrolling on my phone. You know, I see these headlines, and it just draws me in to read, you know, what's happening in the world. But these kind of headlines can make us feel fearful and helpless. So, you know, I thought I'd share a Jataka tale with you today that kind of captures the same feeling of fear and helplessness. Now, I know I usually share these Jataka tales with the Dharma school kids, but after that really heavy talk about zombies, I thought we needed something a little lighter. So actually, I had no idea that Arturo was going to give such a wonderful talk about zombies, but it works. It works with me. You know, there's nothing that says adults can't learn from these stories, benefit from these, and so I ask you to just sort of sit back and let me transport you to your former days, perhaps in Dharma school or junior YBA, when you would hear these kind of stories as you listen to talks. And this one is about the brave little parrot. So once, long ago, the Buddha was born as a little gray parrot, and one day a storm broke upon her forest home. Lightning flashed, thunder crashed, and a dead tree, struck by lightning, burst into flames. Sparks leapt onto the wind, and soon the forest was ablaze. Terrified animals ran wildly in every direction, seeking safety from the flames and smoke. "Fire! Fire!" cried the little parrot. "Run! Run to the river!" And flapping her wings, she flung herself out into the fury of the storm, and rising higher, flew toward the safety of the river. But as she flew, she could see that many animals were trapped, surrounded by the flames, with no chance of escape. Suddenly, a desperate idea, a way to save them, came to her. She darted to the river, dipped herself in the water, and flew back over the now raging fire. The heat rising up from the burning forest was like the heat of an oven. The thick smoke made breathing almost unbearable. A wall of flames shot up first on one side and next on the other. Crackling flames leapt and danced before her. Twisting and turning through the mad maze of fire, the little parrot flew bravely on. At last, over the center of the forest, she shook her wings and released a few drops of water which still clung to her feathers. Tiny drops tumbled like jewels down into the heart of the blaze and vanished with a hiss. Then the little parrot once more flew back through the flames and smoke to the river, dipped herself in the cool water, and flew back again over the burning forest. Back and forth she flew time and time again, from the river to the forest, from the burning forest to the river. Her feathers were charred, her feet were scorched, her lungs ached, her eyes, stung by smoke, burned red as coals. Her mind spun as dizzily as the spinning sparks, but still the little parrot flew on. At this time, some of the devas, gods of the heavenly realm of heavenly beings, were floating high overhead on their cloud palaces of ivory and gold. They happened to look down and they saw the little parrot flying through the flames. They pointed at her with their perfect hands, and between mouthfuls of delicious heavenly foods, they exclaimed, "Look at that foolish little bird. She's trying to put out a raging wildfire with a few sprinkles of water. How ridiculous! How absurd!" And they laughed loud and long at the little gray parrot. But one of those gods didn't laugh. Strangely moved, he changed himself into a great golden eagle and flew down toward the little parrot's fiery path. And the little parrot was just nearing the flames again when the great eagle, with eyes like molten gold, appeared at her side. "Go back, little bird," said the eagle in a solemn and majestic voice. "Your task is hopeless. A few drops of water can't put out a wildfire. Cease now and save yourself before it's too late." But the little parrot only continued to fly on through the smoke and flames. She could hear the great eagle flying above her as the heat grew fiercer, calling out, "Stop, foolish little parrot. Save yourself. Save yourself." "I don't need a great shining golden eagle," coughed the little parrot, "to give me advice like that. My own mother, a dear bird, might have told me such things long ago. Advice? I don't need advice. I just need someone to help." And the god who was the great eagle, seeing the little parrot flying through the flames, thought suddenly of his own privileged kind. He could see the other devas floating high above. Yes, there they were, the carefree gods, still laughing and talking while many animals cried out in pain and fear from among the flames below. Seeing that, he grew ashamed, and a single desire was kindled in his heart. God though he was, he just wanted to be like that brave little parrot and to help all the animals who were in great danger. "I will help," the great eagle exclaimed, and flushed with these new feelings, he began to weep. Stream after stream of sparkling tears poured from his eyes. Wave upon wave, they washed down like cooling rain upon the fire, upon the forest, upon the animals, and upon the little parrot herself. Where those tears fell, the flames died down, and the smoke began to clear. The little parrot, washed in bright, rocketed above the sky, laughing for joy. Falling on the little parrot, the tears caused her charred gray feathers to grow back, red as the fire, blue as a river, green as a forest, and yellow as sunlight. She was now a beautiful, colorful bird, and the parrot flew happily over the healed forest that she had helped save. "Now that's more like it," she exclaimed. The eagle's tears dripped from burned branches and soaked into the scorched earth. Where those tears glistened, new life pushed forth quickly. Shoots, stems, and leaves, buds unfurled, and blossoms opened. And green grass pushed up from among still glowing embers. All the animals looked at one another in amazement. Washed by those tears, they were whole and well. Not one had been harmed. Up above in the clear blue sky, they could see their friend, the little parrot, looping and soaring in delight. When hope was gone, somehow she had saved them. "Hooray!" they cried. "Hooray for the brave little parrot, and for this sudden, miraculous rain." So, it's a great story, but I'm not expecting some golden eagle god to extinguish all the fires that we encounter, whether they're literal or figurative in our world today. But from the viewpoint of that god, he recognized his privilege and saw that he was in a position to help others, and then took action. Of course, the little parrot had been doing what she could do to help others all along. It seemed to be a hopeless task, but she persevered and did her best to alleviate the pain and suffering of others. She could have flown off to safety across the river and never looked back, but that wasn't in her nature. And the other gods who simply laughed at the little parrot were really jerks, because like the deva who took on the form of an eagle, they too had the power to help. But they chose to laugh and make fun of the misfortunes of the animals and the little parrot instead. And the other animals of the forest felt hopeless and helpless. But the efforts of the little parrot, as pointless as they seemed to some, did bring hope to them. And in the end, the animals cheered for the little parrot out of gratitude for her persistence. Just like the little parrot in this story, wisdom and compassion persists. It grasps us and refuses to abandon us. When we feel helpless, when we feel that the world around us is so daunting, Namo Amida Butsu gives us hope and strength. When we feel the world is as though it's on fire, Namo Amida Butsu helps us to go on. When we're fearful and others, rather than helping us, seem to laugh at us or belittle us, Namo Amida Butsu gives us peace, courage, and assurance. The immeasurable light and infinite life that surrounds us embraces us always, and even on our darkest and most difficult days. In gratitude, we too add our voices to Namo Amida Butsu. So please join me again in Gasho. I will bring great peace to all who are in doubt or fear. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandab, Namandab, Namandab.
Thank you, Reverend Smitty, for your story. It kind of reminds me, I work for the American College of Veterinary Internal Medicine, and we had our board meeting in Denver, Colorado at the beginning of February. And so we have veterinarians from all over. There's about 15 of them, and one of them is from Minneapolis. And Dr. Hill is, she was like, usually when we all get together, it's a very happy occasion. And she said, I'm sorry, I'm just not there right now, and she told us about what she's going through and what their city's going through. And because so many people are afraid to go to work and are not able to make money right now, she and 4 other people created this grassroots kind of organization that picks up animals, takes them to the vet, and that does transport and does all these things. So every little bit counts, and she doesn't realize what an impact she's making for those people. So kind of like the little parrot. So thank you, Reverend Smitty. Will you all please rise for the Gatha Ondoksan on page 128? please be seated. Right. We'll now have closing meditation with music. The Buddha says, the world is a reflection of one's own mind. Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Right. We invite you all to attend hospitality, which are refreshments down in the dining hall. And there will also be a Japanese Dharma message given by Reverend Noriko Kawai. But you are able to go ahead and offer incense at this time. Thank you.
included zombie if I had known. But I don't watch zombie movies, so can't get into that for some reason. それでは日本語のお話を始めてよろしいでしょうか。はい、それでは始めます。ご一緒に合唱お願いいたします。光明はあまねく十方世界を照らし、念仏の主情を摂取して捨てたまわず。ナマアミダ仏、ナマンダブ、ナマンダブ、ナマンダブ、ナマンダブ。皆さんおはようございます。お元気でいらっしゃいますか皆さん。今一生懸命書いたものをアップデートしようとしてたんですが間に合わず、今、本日のご参題は漢無量寿経というお経から、ですね。で現代語に訳したものを読みますと、光明は広くすべての世界を照らして仏を念じる人々を残らずその中に収め取りお捨てになることがないのであるということです。で浄土真宗の教えの中で大切な言葉で摂取不捨という私大好きな言葉があるんですけれども、それについて言っているお言葉かなと思いますけれども、本当に面白いというか興味深いなと思うのが、いつもこうやってお話を、用意させていただくんですけれども、不思議とその前にお話になった今日だったらアルトゥロさんとスミティさんですけれども先生ですけれども、お二人とも摂取不捨のこのニュアンスを入れてらっしゃったお話だったので、ああ同じテーマだなって結構いつもそういうことになるのですごく興味深いなと思ってます。で、今日は阿弥陀様のお慈悲についてちょっと私の思い出話も交えてお話ししたいと思います。私ここに最近サンディエゴは珍しく雨がよく降りますねって言おうと思ったんですけれども、ここ 2,3 日ものすごい暑いですね。今日も最高が27度。私アメリカ来て32年ですけどいまだに摂氏で温度に関しては考えちゃうので27度何度でしょうね、90何度ですかね。2日前ぐらいはもっと暑かったのであれでしたけど、2週間前ぐらいにすごく雨がよく降ったかと思います。で、サンディエゴは冬に比較的雨がよく降るかなと思うんですけれども、雨が降ると思い出すことがあります。私の父は2021年のコロナ禍に日本で亡くなりました。まだ父が元気だった頃に雨が降るとよく夜のうちにバーッと降ってくれたらいいねん、そしたら朝庭の水やりせんでいいからなと言っていました。私の父は仕事ばっかりしていて父に遊んでもらった記憶がほとんどというか全くないぐらい、私の父は典型的というのでしょうか、昭和の父親像そのものの、縦のものも横にしないという人でした。で例えば電話が家にかかってきて父が一番電話に近くにいるのにそれでも取らない、誰か取れという、その言いもしないですね。当たり前なので父が電話を取らないというのは誰かが走っていって取るというような人でした。でも仕事から引退してからは少しずつ家のこともするようになって庭の水やりなんかもするようになりました。でも水やりはそんなわけであんまり好きではなかったようで、特に夏の暑い日は本当に嫌がっていて雨が降ると大喜びだったのです。当時の私はまだ元気だったし水やりがどれだけ大変かもよく分かっていませんでした。でも自分で水やりをするようになって、なるほど 父が言ってたことってこういうことかと実感しました。そんなにうちの実家の庭広いわけでもないし、水やりなんてホースでシャーッとかければいいんでしょうぐらいに思ってました。でも水がまんべんなくすべての植物ですね、植物のあるところの土に行き渡るということがどれだけ大変か、やってみて身にしみて分かりました。それもシャーッと水をかけただけではダメですよね。そして奥に隠れてちゃんと土がしっかり占めるぐらいにお水をあげないといけません。そして奥に隠れているお花や木にもちゃんとお水をあげないといけない。ついつい手前にあるお花とか木にばっかり水がかかっている状態になってしまいます。でも雨が降ると、雨は場所や人を選ばずに全てに降ります。どこかに偏ったりせずまんべんなく降ります。阿弥陀様の光やお慈悲も私たち一人一人に差別なく届いているのだなと思います。皆さんも雨のことを考えるとき、ふと自然の大きさみたいなものを感じることはありませんか？たった一滴の水でもすべての草や木に行き渡るまでには時間も力も必要です。阿弥陀様のお慈悲も同じで、私たちの心の中にまんべんなく注がれているけれども、私たちはその大きさや範囲を全部はわからないかもしれません。私たちは日々の生活の中でついこれは私には関係ないとか、あの人はちょっと違うからと思ってしまうことがあるかもしれません。でも雨がすべてに降るように、阿弥陀様の光もお慈悲も私たちの心にいつもまんべんなく注がれています。時には気づかないこともありますし、気づいてもまだ自分には届いてないと思うこともあるかもしれません。でも雨や光は条件を選ばず平等に降り注いでいるのです。ですので日常のちょっとした出来事や他の人のささやかな思いやりを見つけたときに、ああこれは阿弥陀様の光やお慈悲が届いている瞬間なのかもしれないというふうにふと思い出してみてください。例えば誰かが笑っているのを見たり、ちょっとした優しい言葉を思ったりもらったり、見知らぬ人に助けてもらったり、そうした小さなことの中にも光やお慈悲は存在しているのです。私たちはついもっと大きな奇跡や特別な出来事を待たなければ、それがきっと阿弥陀様のお慈悲や光なのだと思いがちですが、日々の何気ないことの中にも阿弥陀様のお慈悲を感じる瞬間があります。雨の一滴一滴のように、目には見えないけれども、雨の一滴は見えますけれども、光とかは見えなかったりするけれども、すべてに行き渡ります。だからもし皆さんが疲れてたりとか、少し気持ちが沈んだりしても大丈夫です。阿弥陀様の光やお慈悲はそんな時も、もしくはそんな時こそちゃんと届いています。私たちが気づくかどうかは全く別として、すべての人が包まれています。自分の弱さや迷いがあったとしても、そっと抱きしめてもらっているのだと思います。それが摂取不捨ということなのかなと思います。最後に、今日も皆さんが光とお慈悲に包まれて安心して過ごせますように、雨の一滴一滴に、そして見えない光に心を少しだけ留めてください。本日もようこそのお参りでした。それではもう一度お念仏を申してお話を終わりといたします。合唱お願いいたします。ナモ阿弥陀仏、ナマンダー仏、ナマンダ仏、ナマンダ仏。 ありがとうございました。